Today, we'll be making some delicious treats.
What's up, everybody? My name is Matt, and this is What Matters to Matt, and I'm here with Zoe. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, you know that I've talked a lot about being on the anabolic diet. And on that anabolic diet, I've talked a lot about getting recipes from Remington James. And today I thought, because I haven't done this before, is that we would go ahead and we would share one of those recipes. Today, we are going to be making peanut butter fudge, which he put up on his channel last week. But we're also going to do a little bit of a twist and make some peanut butter chocolate fudge as well. Now, we have a couple of different criterias when we are making any recipe, a couple of different things that we're going to rate these on. 4 different things for this recipe. First, Zoe's got the list here. First, we're going to be looking at taste. And when I say taste, in this case, it's actually for me, because obviously it needs to taste good if I'm going to be eating it for the anabolic diet. Second part to that is just how anabolic is it?
Third part is how easy it is to make.
Third part is how easy it is to make. And finally, Zoe, what is the fourth one and probably the most important?
I will say how good that it tastes.
Yeah, so as part of this channel, I talk a lot about being a busy dad and my children being the most important thing in my life. And in a lot of those cases, it means that if there's ever an opportunity that I can get them to also eat something a little bit more healthy, replace some of those really sugary treats with something just a little less calorie dense, a little bit more protein, I am more than willing to do that. I'm totally on board. And I think this might be one of those recipes. But Zoe can be a pretty strong critic when it comes to taste.
Yes.
Zoe can be a pretty strong critic when it comes to taste, and we're going to put that to the test. All 4 of those things, we're going to rate them all out of 5, giving us a total of 20. Without further ado, let's get into the recipe. Okay, so as I said, this recipe isn't all that complicated. You're just going to need a few different ingredients for this recipe. One thing you will need some PB2. That's a given with any sort of a peanut butter recipe. And you do need good old-fashioned peanut butter. I've got Kraft here. You will also need some sort of salt. That is actually optional. And then for your proteins, I have a Lean Fit Whey vanilla protein here. And for the regular peanut butter fudge and for the peanut butter chocolate, I actually have a peanut butter chocolate swirl flavor protein that we're going to use for that. You need your egg whites, of course, and artificial sweetener, some sort of sweetener to sweeten it up because we are doing fudge and we want to keep it anabolic and not too much actual sugar. And lastly, just some sort of all-purpose flour. So that is going to add a little bit of carbs. The peanut butter is going to add a little bit of fat. But when we look at the macros at the end of the day, this is still pretty anabolic and it keeps pretty good. So are you ready to mix some of this up?
Yes.
Okay, so beyond the ingredients, what you will need is you do need some sort of a scale. You can pick these up super cheap on Amazon, and Zoe's going to help me measure some of this out. And we're going to start off with around 92 grams of egg whites. All right, so fast forward ahead, I didn't feel the need to actually show you us mixing all of these things. We did once we put in the egg whites, the 62 grams of egg whites, the 64 grams of peanut butter, the 32 grams of peanut butter powder, PB2, PBME, whatever it is. Mix that all up. Then you go back in, and depending upon whether you're doing the chocolate one or the vanilla one, we used another 62 grams of protein powder, the chocolate peanut butter protein powder that I have here for the one that Zoe's holding up, and the vanilla protein that I have here for the one that I have. Mix that in. Then you go back and you mix in another 40 grams of flour, 10 grams of any sort of a 0-calorie sweetener, and then I always put a little bit of a salt. I put salt in everything. I can't help it. I know it might not be the best for me, but that's what I do. Next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead, put this in some parchment paper, put it in a couple of containers, throw it in the freezer, put it in for an hour, maybe 2 hours. You can actually do this for overnight. And I'm going to go, I've got a couple of workouts to do. I've got a little bit of a run that I'll talk about in another video because I've started training today for my first half marathon. But that's a totally other video. I'm going to put this in the freezer. We're going to come back, do a little bit of a taste test, and see how it turns out and give you an idea on whether you should be making this anabolic fudge. All right, so I'm back here with Zoe, and now we're joined by Dylan, and we have just taken the fudge out of the freezer. It's actually been out of the freezer for about 20 minutes now. I find if you take it right out of the freezer and eat it, it doesn't actually, it's not quite chewy enough, but if you give it a few minutes, it's really, really good. Now we're going to be rating this on 4 different things. First is taste, and if I was going to try one of them, I actually prefer the chocolate ones just a little bit better.
Dad.
And if I'm tasting that, 100%, 5 out of 5. If you are looking at the macros on these, and that is, we're basing that out of 5. Now, I am doing the anabolic diet, so the macros, the one thing that we focus on here is protein is one of the biggest part of that. Man, that's really, really chewy. But the macros on this are pretty good. Total calories, if you divide one of these two into 4 servings, so you've got 8 total servings on the plate, but one serving, you're looking at 235 calories, 10.2 grams of fat, 15.5 grams of carbs, and 22.6 grams of protein. Now, I like my protein to be about on par with the total calories. So I'd be looking at more like 24, 23 grams of protein. So we're just shy of that. That's why I'm only giving it a 3.5 on the macros. How easy was it to make? Well, you saw it in the video. Very easy to make, very few ingredients. And now, last but not least, so that's definitely a 5. So we've got 5 on my taste, 3.5 on the macros, and 5 out of 5 on just how easy it is to make. But probably the most important part to this, and as I mentioned at the beginning, one of the things that's really important to me is that if I'm putting the time in to make some of these things, is that maybe my kids will enjoy it too. Gives them a chance to eat a little bit healthier, gives them a chance to replace some of that sugar with something a little bit more anabolic. Zoe's agreed to try it. Dylan's gonna give it a try. Which one would you guys like to try?
This one, then this one.
That one and that one? Give it a try.
Okay, they're a little sticky.
Yeah, they're a little sticky. You like it, Dylan?
Tastes like peanut butter a lot. Yeah, it tastes like peanut butter.
So, Zoe, out of 5, what would you give that?
A 4.
A 4?
Because it's not all peanut butter. I like peanut butter.
Would you ever make it again?
I don't know how to make it.
Would you ever make it again with me? Would you ever eat it again if we made it again?
Maybe.
Maybe. What about you, Dylan? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's a 900 for me.
It's a 900. So we're going to give that a 4 out of 5 coming from the kids. So total, you got 5 out of 5 on the taste from me, 3.5 on the macros, 5 out of 5 on just how easy it is, and 4 out of 5 on the kids. So overall, really, really solid recipe. I have to say, if there was going to be one thing, you go ahead, try the other one, buddy.
This one is pretty good.
Thanks that one. You want to try that one, Zoe?
Nothing.
So, if there was going to be one thing that I was going to have to say that was a negative about so many of Remington James recipes is that you can see here, this is actually quite a lot of fudge. Typically, you're not going to sit down and eat this whole thing, and you're not really intended to. But I have to make sure that when I'm making this, that when I'm trying this, I'm trying it on a full stomach, because there's absolutely no way that I'm going to be able to resist eating a whole bunch of this, if not all of this. But I hope you like this video, this channel. We had a great time making this fudge. Dylan keeps trying some more. If you want more, bud, go ahead. This channel is called What Matters to Matt. If you like this video, please remember to hit that like button. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you get to see more of my videos. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time that I make a new video. This channel, once again, is called What Matters to Matt. And ultimately, what matters to me most is my family. And I will see you in the next one.
Dylan, no more. You already had 3. Okay.